right. Hello. We are getting ready to go live here in just, of course, this light does not want to work. Get live here in just a few moments. I am working on getting my special guest to get his stuff together so we can make this official. Right. Hi everyone. We're just getting everything all settled in, all ready to go. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if the sound is. All right, let me go see if I can grab the goose so that way you guys can get this. Come here. I know, but they don't want to see me. They want to see you, friend. All right, guys. So, if you're watching on the TikTok, we got Goose barking in the background. All right, and we are getting ready to go live here on the Coffee with Christine show. Ready to do this? We only need one. Hello and good afternoon. And this is my pet duck named Goose. And great things. So we are here with your weekly dose of love and caffeination, and I can't wait to get to it. So I am working on getting Goose up in the picture. If you are watching on TikTok, you probably have a good view of him. But if this is your first time here, the first time joining us, I'm Christine DeGennaro. I am a self-care mentor and a certified master life coach, and I am here to help inspire you to live with passion. And I do that with my pet dog named Goose. Goose was part of a duo named after the Top Gun characters, Goose and Maverick. Unfortunately, we don't have Maverick with us any longer, but we have a fighter of and he is absolutely wonderful. Very personable. Let me make sure you guys are able to see him on the TikTok. So I am StreamYard.com. So this is our third ever show hosting live like this. We are posting on YouTube. We're here on TikTok. We're on Facebook in Goose's page, as well as the Coffee with Christine and Goose show fan page. If you're not a fan, make sure you go there. Go to the link in your description. You can actually get a walk along of our throughout the episode. You will also find a worksheet to go ahead and take notes of things that we think you'll find important throughout the show. So we have all kinds of really great things happening today. What we are going to do is I'm going to introduce you to Francesca Telesco. She and I spoke about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, and she is a social worker who lives in New York and works with her dog named Joy. And together they work together to help children, teenagers in high school process health. Absolutely wonderful. So if you give me 1 second, our third show. So we're still working out a couple glitches here and there. But as you guys can just make sure you're saying hi, interacting, and doing all the things. We're going to jump on into the interview with Francesca. and I hope you guys enjoy. Hello, and we're so glad to have you here on the Coffee with Christine and Goose show. This is Francesca. Francesca, introduce yourself and let us animals.
Sure. My name is Francesca Telesco. I live in New York State, upstate New York. Our privilege, and my area is with children and adolescents. I do therapy.
Very good. And you have a beautiful doggie named Joy.
I do. So back in March, I purchased a golden retriever from a local breeder with the intent of training and getting her certified to be a therapy dog to work with me with my children and adolescents on my caseload.
That's so cool. So I know you've done a ton of research into how animals help, especially young developing kids, in
Yes.
dealing with their emotions. So, what therapy, what can animals do for people that we probably don't even realize that they can do for us?
Well, I think in general, just being in the present, first of all, you have to be, in my case, you have to be like dogs, because that's my, my cohort, my little sidekick.
Right.
But right off the bat, in general, I mean, being in the presence of a dog, when you're in crisis, or even if you're not in crisis or just in a therapy session, they can lower your anxiety, blood pressure, normalize your heart rate, and give you a comfort level and confidence to actually talk and engage in therapy. Dogs cannot do, people cannot do what a dog can do. Like, there are things, I can take therapy to, a certain, level or process, but a dog can really enhance that process for somebody.
Right. Oh, I love it. So what kind of studies have been done as far as what's the science backing this?
So it's very easy to find. There's a lot of documentation on the benefits of having a dog involved in therapy. In the school setting, and with the focus of the children and adolescents I work with, a dog can actually help a child communicate feelings. A dog is, or any animal that you have trained to be involved in therapy, it's a non-judgmental, caring, loving, accepting being. And it gives, in my case, my experience, children and adolescents the confidence and the comfort level to actually talk about their feelings. Kids are very good about blaming themselves when things go wrong, and they're very good about hiding their feelings, or not necessarily hiding them, or just ignoring them, acknowledging them, not talking about them. And a dog provides a safe place for them to do that, because there will be no judgment from a dog. So as a therapist, I can say over and over again to my clients that no, like, let's just, whatever's going on, let's figure it out. I'm here to help. I'm not here to judge. And sometimes they believe it, but there's always like a part of them that they're always still skeptical, And a dog, no judgment. So it gives them a level of comfort that I can't give them.
Great. I love it.
Yeah.
Do you have any? We were talking the other day, and you had mentioned that there was a young person who would come to you, and can you walk us through that story as far as what you were able to see?
Yes, I remember telling you about this high school student that came to my office. Is that the one we're talking about? Yeah. That was amazing, because this young lady is not on my caseload, but I developed a relationship with her, as I do many of the kids in the school. Whether they're on my caseload or not, I'm there to help a child in need. So I've seen her before. She has panic, usually pretty scared. Like, she'll come to my room and take, 30 to 45 minutes sometimes to kind of deep breaths, try and get somewhat stabilized, talk about what the trigger was, like what started it, that whole process. So back in the spring, she came to my office, and I just happened to have Joy with me that day. She didn't realize Joy was even in the room, but she's so good. She's under my desk. She's just quiet, unless you call her out.
Right.
Hanging out.
Right.
And about 10 or 15 minutes in, I asked the young lady, I said, do you like dogs? Do you have a problem with dogs? She's like, and she looked at me like I was crazy care if I like dogs. Or like, I don't obviously understand this random question. But when she told me she loved dogs, I said, all right. I said, and I just called Joy out from under my desk, and she's like, what? She's like, a dog hanging out of here. So it was amazing to watch because it shifted the brain for her. So it took her out of her panic mode, and it changed her thought process, changed the direction of where she was, because now she's focused on this dog who you would not normally see in a therapist's office in a school. And we're sitting on the floor, and she's just petting the dog, and Joy's on her back, bellies. Come on, man. She loves anyone who's willing to give her some belly rubs. And 2 minutes later, she was like, you know what, Mrs. T, I think I'm ready to go back to class. So the turnaround was amazing because it did a few things. It calmed the anxiety. It redirected her brain or her thought process. And she got that physical touch and validation that I can't give her as a therapist, but the dog can definitely give her. And she was able to recompose herself and join her academic day again. It was humbling. It was amazing to watch the process. So I knew in that moment, and there were a few examples, but that was the most significant that stood out, where every penny I spend and the time I put into this is going to be so worth it for the kids and the adolescents I work with.
Absolutely, and it's so beautiful to hear that kind of story. Recently, we partnered with a local farm named Grateful Acres, and it's a nonprofit organization that just started. And she has goats, she's got horses, she's got chickens, she's got ducks, and she's opened up her farm to allow autistic children and people mental abilities and disabilities to come in and help her on the farm. And
that is amazing. See, what led me to the therapy dog was when I worked for the hospital in my area as a therapist. I was introduced to equine therapy.
Okay.
It's magic. I know there's science, I know there's all this research and everything, but to witness it's magic. There's something so magical about certain types of animals when they're put in therapeutic settings. And that led me to the research with the therapy dog, and here I am now with this wonderful little golden retriever who I am asking to do so much stuff. So
right.
Certified.
Aw, but she's a smarty.
She is. She's doing good. We had a little setback, with my my employer, but I have recently changed employer, and I'm on a new track, and hopefully we can keep moving forward with Joy.
Absolutely. So are you able to talk about the science that happens within the brain chemistry at all, as far as like what chemicals are released when we're experiencing interactions with animals versus panic attacks? Is that something that
honestly, I looked more when I did my research. I did more of the social aspect,
okay.
not the biological.
Okay.
I focused more on the social side because that's really the environment that I was working in. So obviously I know there is a biological effect. I understand the chemical, natural chemicals in the brain responsible for anxiety or stress or emotions or feelings or happiness all get affected when we interact with a dog. but my research focused more on the social piece, the empathy, the self-esteem, helping a child find their voice, reading, like increasing their academics by giving them a non-judgmental audience to read if someone's having difficulty in that. Maybe some more of that research, but like I said, I focused more on the social piece that would be applying.
That totally makes, and I think that's one of the things that I like about talking to different people about this is because the social aspect, as different Kira would take in the chemical, and you don't, I mean, whereas the high school, so it's all there different components. Just where it comes to helping what in different settings. It's cool.
Right, exactly. One of the fun things schools absolutely loved having the responsibility of helping me take care of Joy.
Okay.
Kids, such a hard exterior. They're so in their self-protection mode. They got their walls way up, starting to see them kind of thin. And I'll get her water, or how much just go for a walk with them, care about something outside and give them the feeling of satisfaction.
Day, so
material reward. It's just they did something to help, and it just gives them, and it helps them understand what it is to nurture, show empathy. Because this is relying on us, so we need to step up and be a certain way with this animal. So it's just it's very humbling that experiences I've had. This can just be a game changer for a lot of my clients. It really percent is selfish, not embarrassed to put it out. So having Joy as a coach.
And I think that's such a beautiful thing to be able to bring into the conversation too, is that, we're people who hold space for other people. We're here to give them a safe place to come to vent and to be guided through finding what tools work for them. But a majority of people who are in the therapy, in the mentorship, in the coaching, have been through this themselves. Like they're still, you have to have experienced it to some level to be able to empathize with other people and to be able to help walk them through their own darkness.
Absolutely. I always tell people, the kids I work with, that wasn't an accident that I ended up doing this type of work. That when you go through things, and I had, I'm not saying I had a terrible, life or childhood or anything, but things that not everybody is aware of that changes us, and not always for the better. And we find our way to these types of careers because we've experienced something and we want to turn that around into something positive and let people know that they don't have to walk through things alone. That I'll never, I always tell my kids, I will never say I told you, because I don't, because it's not my story.
Right.
But I do tell them that I do have some
Bear
level
with
of
me, guys.
understanding,
Sorry.
like I can relate to you and we can work things out together.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I think that's the whole beautiful thing about empathy is I might not have ever walked in this person's particular footsteps. I might not know the exact hardships, but I can allow myself the room to imagine and how much it affected them on the inside.
Yeah.
Be able to like, okay, well, in a similar situation or something like this is what worked for me.
Right.
You know, these are the tools that have helped me. And, as long as you also are very forward about, this might be different for you. This is going to be a different experience. You're a different person.
And when you're in, there's this, you have like ethical guidelines and things to follow. So it's an interesting dance of self-disclosure.
Okay.
Because you don't want to make a session about you.
Right.
But you also, when something is so obvious and so glaring that you can relate to and you have worked through it, like you were saying, if something worked for you or you were able to move past it or whatever, there is a level of acceptance. It's okay to self-disclose.
Right.
It's appropriate and it stays focused on the patient.
Right.
So, you want to be careful about self-disclosure, but there are times when it is so helpful and so valuable. And it also shows your patients that you're human.
Right.
And that you don't have all the answers. I am not afraid to ever tell a kid, you think you've heard it all. And then there's always a kid out there that comes in and it's like, oh my God, how are you getting up in the morning?
Yeah.
And, it's just amazing. The resilience, it's like, oh, they're resilient. So it's like everything's okay.
But they'll bounce back when it's like, that's kind of not always.
Yeah, I get what the word is, but I also don't like it either because it implies something that is not fair, especially to, a child. But yeah, it's empowering to be able to sit there and say, I get it. Let's figure this out together. And hopefully my little furry friend over here can make that easier, not only for you, but even for me, because there are times when I feel I'm not doing enough, or I didn't think of the right thing, or thank goodness I have a nice circle of professionals that, we all talk to each other and kind of, you have to have somewhere to put it. When you're taking all this in, you have to have somewhere to put it. So yeah, you go to those people and you say, this is what I've done. This is, how screwed up am I? And they're like, you're fine, but because we expect certain results or we think, on paper, it's going to work out great. It looks great in a textbook, but in real life,
exactly.
you feel like you're falling off a cliff and you're like, oh, there's my ghost.
All right, guys, we're just gonna take a quick break from the interview with Francesca. I just want to double check and see how everyone is doing. What you guys are getting from the topic. So right now, what we've been discussing is the ability of animals to connect with humans on a level that even humans aren't able. Here, let's go ahead and switch this. So Francesca has been a licensed social worker for years through New York State. So her experience and everything is so profound. So I do want to take a moment just to acknowledge our sponsors who are making this podcast possible. So we've had the pleasure to work with several different sponsors. We work with Apex Pheromones, who is a pheromone cologne creator. And what they do is they use your body chemicals to enhance the male person in your life. So it's pretty cool. Go to apexpheromone.com and check it out and see. They're running a Valentine's Day special that would be perfect for the man in your life getting ready for this holiday season. Next is our sponsor, A Plus Assistance, and Kim runs an amazing team of administrative assistants who can help you with all of your virtual assisting needs. I highly recommend her. She's based out of New Jersey and does amazing work. She is also Dudley the Duck's mom. So she and I have a special little bond over our ducks. Then we have Grateful Acres, which is a nonprofit animal farm. Does amazing work. I mentioned her earlier in this podcast. Does amazing work with rehabilitating animals and helping people of all abilities, lifestyles, mindsets to be able to come in and learn how to take care of animals. And it's been amazing to see the impact that caring for animals can have on people who haven't previously felt accepted or loved or welcomed, and the amazing impact is unmistakable. So I want to thank all three of our sponsors for making this podcast possible. We're also broadcasting on Reel to Reel Broadcasting Network. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We are all over the place. We're also live on TikTok. So if you guys are watching on TikTok, you have a glorious view of Goose's rear end. If you are watching on YouTube, you get to see Goose's lovely face as he yawns, and you get to hang out with me in the foreground. So we are hanging out here, and we are going to go ahead and dive back in with Francesca. She's got a few more. We've got about another 10 more minutes on that portion of the interview, but we wanted to send a quick thank you to our sponsors. Now back to the interview.
But yeah, someone must have just come home because all the dogs are starting.
Are growing. That's okay. It's all good. We but no, I love this.
Someone just came home. Hold on. Can you pull the door closed?
Matthew wants to know quick.
Close the door. It doesn't matter how old your kids get, they always need you.
Exactly. They will. Oh, I love it. That's so funny. We if you want, we can go ahead and take a quick break and roll this over, and then you want to do that?
But as long as you're good. Yeah, he's an adult. He needs.
All right.
He's not 5.
No. Oh, I love the fact when you were going through your training, Kira, my friend Kira said this the other day when she went to NYU, and when she was going through her program, they very strongly encouraged her to go through her own therapy and utilize. Yeah. Is that something that okay?
So one of my my internships, 2 internships in the Master Social Work program. So my second internship was in a high school.
Okay.
Best advice I ever got. Two pieces of advice I ever got, because the social worker I interned with knew I wanted to work in schools in that setting. So the first thing she said to me was, do not go right into a school, go work for a clinic, a hospital, something, get your clinical foundation. Figure out meds, learn your, clinical jargon, work the emergency room, crisis for mental health, work with med providers, like get all your clinical foundation. Best advice I ever got. Couldn't imagine having gone into a school without 4-year education that I did. The second piece of advice she said was get your own shit together before you sit in a room with somebody.
Gotcha. That's fair.
Get your own shit together. She said, because you will be triggered in sessions, and it will, and it was interesting because she said it will catch you off guard. You'll be perfectly fine, and all of a sudden, and sometimes you wouldn't even realize why triggered, and you'll start to feel it, physically. Then it takes a while, after session to kind of pinpoint what happened. That's why it's really important that therapists have a therapist. They need to have somewhere to put what they're taking in. They need somewhere to put it. because you will be triggered. You can have all your shit together in theory, but you are going to get triggered. So it's really important to at least get the fundamentals of insecurities or whatever it is that's going on somewhat under control or in a maintenance phase, where you can go in and take on other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very important to do that. And I'm happy to hear that other degrees, I mean, it's not brain surgery. I mean, you gotta be somewhat grounded to do that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's another thing that we had addressed is that, it takes a certain person to be able to walk into a room and say, tell me everything you have going on, focus on the person in front of them, and then walk out, be able to kind of process through it for a little bit and then move on to the next person.
Right.
While still undergoing their own stuff.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is you usually don't have time to process until after you probably, so as a school social worker in upstate New York, I don't, and I know that this is very common across the country right now, but you're going nonstop from the minute you walk through the door to when the buses pull out. The increase in depression and anxiety and stress and suicidal ideation, especially among teens, increased to 44%. So you got to think about that for a minute. That's almost half of our teenage population is at 44% with all of these issues coming off of COVID. At the elementary level, that is coming out in terrible behaviors. And it just breaks your heart, to see these kids, and it's nonstop all day, and it's very dangerous for the person who is taking all of that on if they not have an outlet themselves. Right. That's why there's such a high turnover or burnout rate, because everyone kind of we're programmed when we do jobs like this. There's somewhat of we're programmed to just be helping and constantly moving forward and helping and doing, and we think that we need to put that same energy into ourselves, and if we don't, we're not going to last. And not only that, you also have to know your worth and have self-respect. So that's difficult too, because people put expectations on you that aren't fair, right? You can very easily, very quickly lose sight of your self-worth and your self-respect unless you are paying attention to it. Right. If you have to consciously pay attention to it, you will stop taking care of yourself. You'll be taking care of everybody else instead. And I know, some people may be like, well, that sounds, selfish, or you chose that job, so you should have known, or whatever. But, just because we choose a job, like social work, whatever field you're in, doesn't mean we have to be, and that it's everything that we've got going on. We still need to take care of ourselves, so we do that job that we chose.
Now, I just got the 10-minute timer warning. So, if you can, what are the top 2 or 3 things about self-care and joy together? Enjoying your life without your own self-care?
It forces you to do something relying on you. So you need to, pay attention to her, and the training on it, and when she gets something, it's rewarding and it's exciting, because it's not only her accomplishment, it's my accomplishment. So having her forces me outside of, the day-to-day, and pay else that is relying on me, which will provide me with, love and acceptance and validation and, just joy in her success, because her success is going to be my success. If she can do it, then I'm going to be successful with that.
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting.
So, yeah.
And I love the fact that you are like library programs, or you're talking about doing library programs and
Yep.
bringing animals to kids who wouldn't normally have access to them.
Yes. So I recently, when I left the my previous job at a school district, I contacted the local library because I knew that our very small rural community in upstate New York, so our libraries are huge parts of our communities, and some babysitters. So like a kid can go, like you can literally walk to like it's a 2 minute to the library from the school I used to work. Kids there after school, and my dad will come get them, by 4 o'clock, if they just need that extra hour and a half or whatever. And then to be able to volunteer, I contacted them, and volunteering was joyous. And a little bit as well, because it was hard to leave kids that I work with in school. So volunteering at the library in that town will give me an opportunity also to still see some of my kids, which is, helpful for me, because it's not easy when you're a therapist to leave a job, because that, you're not the be all end all, but you're like, you become like this one constant person for a child who knows their whole story. And my biggest fear when I change jobs or have to leave a child is, am I going to be giving them a new problem, like an abandonment problem? Am I going to be adding to their problem rather than having helped solve something with them? So the termination process when you change jobs is really, really important.
And the opportunity to come to you and find the closure by them knowing where you're going to be. It allows that gateway to stay open.
Right. It's also important for you to go to them and be clear about why you're leaving. Like when I resigned from my previous job, I had 2 teenagers come to me and they were like, you're leaving because we're too much, right? Like you can't handle us anymore. And I was like, oh my God, no, I need to really, really pay attention to the termination process with these kiddos, because I did not want any child thinking I left because of them.
No, exactly.
So that process is so important for not only you, but mostly, in my case, the children that you work with. They need to understand, because again, they're very good about blaming themselves.
Of course. And I think a lot of us are too. We take on guilt. We take on. I've got maybe 2 or 3 more minutes because we're kind of pushing it. But what is something that we can take away? What is one small thing you would recommend to someone who is interested in animal therapy? As far as
definitely do your research. You may think you know what it's going to be, but you don't. I'll be honest with you. You do your research. Not only what it's going to take as far as time, but the commitment, especially with a dog, you're talking about 10, 12 years.
Right.
So it's time, commitment, money, because you're not just getting a pet. So there's training and certification. So there's a financial investment. So the research is definitely, it's so easy to get caught up in, oh, I got to pick out this puppy, getting that puppy. But do your research, go through the process of writing up the proposal, I guess, for whatever job you're looking to bring this animal into. Go through that process before you obtain or jump in.
Gotcha. Beautiful.
You think you know what it is, but you don't.
there's always it's always we always just see the tip of the iceberg. We never see everything else that comes with it. That's life.
And then you have to be negative about it in some way, like turn that devil's advocate on and say, because you got to really test yourself for that you're doing it for the right reasons, and that it's going to work, and that.
All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the so much.
Thank you so much. This has been awesome, Christina. Thank you.
All right, let me go ahead and stop the recording. stop recording. Experience. I always love talking with my friends and my family and people who have been. There we go. Okay, so let me get this. All right, so you guys have Goose. We're gonna do that and bring us both up here online. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, you get, and YouTube and Facebook, you get Goose and you get myself. If you're watching on TikTok, you have Goose's little tush. And if you're listening on reel-to-reel broadcasting, you just get to enjoy our beautiful voices. So I've got Goose adding in his 2 cents here on occasion, and we are really excited to be able to have the opportunity to bring our message to you. So Goose and I are mental health mentors, and we are on a mission to help people learn how to live every day with passion. And for those of you who are new, Goose is a 3-year-old Peking duck. He's handicapped, so he's got some special needs that keep him from living outside. So he is an outdoor duck. He's got a little spot out on the patio that we let him stay in, but every once in a while we let him come on in and hang on out with us, and which is what he's doing here today. And let me go here. So, and human, probably a better way to say that. I'm Christine DeGennaro, and I am an author. I am a meditation practitioner and instructor. I also help coach women through difficult times to be able to encourage them to put themselves first just a little bit each day, to start feeling better, to regain their mental health so they can start pursuing the reason why they're here in life. So today's intention, I always like to go into an intention for our podcast. So today's intention is thoughts and accuracy of action. And when it comes to living life, we live in a balance of action and inaction. And when it comes to living a life of balance, it takes a little bit to figure that out. But action is a very masculine energy. So some of the things that we're going to be talking about today require action, require an understanding of the balance that is appropriate for you. So as we dive into today, we're going to talk about some things that are important. So Goose and I have done actions, but if you guys don't know us, I definitely recommend you check us out on Facebook. We hang out on TikTok a lot as well. You can find more of our backstory and our bios on christinede.com. You can also sign up for our free accountability Facebook group that we just started. So we are looking to get people in if you're looking to set some goals and hold yourself accountable and start building a community of people who are doing the same. We'd love to have you in the accountability group. So all you have to do is go to christinede.com and sign up there. So what else are we going to talk about today? You guys listened to the interview with Francesca and how important it is to have animals because they reach a different component within us emotionally. And one of the things that I've really learned about having Goose in how much better he's taught me about living, I can implement others. So we're really excited to have joined forces. Goose and I we're getting ready to kick off a special boot camp for humans, and it's all about self-care, and we'll go into that later. But we are going to be talking about tapping into our spiritual energy, a little bit about harnessing harnessing your home environment. We're going to talk about the importance of boundaries in your relationships. We're going to ask, and I want you to really think about it, are you fun in your every single day life? And if you're not, we're going to come up with a little thing to help you out. We're going to talk about money and career manifesting, and we're going to talk about staying on track for your health. And we're going to talk all that today. So you guys are getting a sneak peek of what is going to be in our boot camp. So this is actually really exciting. I'm very excited about this. So we're going to go ahead and thank our sponsors for allowing us the opportunity to bring this program to you. So Apex Pheromone is a men's pheromone cologne company and have been top of the line in the industry for almost a decade. And what they do is they've done intensive research into how your body's physical chemistry interacts with other people. And what they've managed to do is capture the different components in high performance athletes, high intellectuals, and combine the chemical makeup of these people and put them into a bottle. And it's really cool because one of the things that they are able to do, there's Core. One of the products, Core, is set to create better emotional bonding. And if you are a woman who is looking for the perfect gift for her man for Valentine's Day, I would go and check them out. They are running a free shipping special for the US. So I would get on that. It's Apex, APEX, pheromone.com. And check it out. My favorite scent is Fury. If you guys really want to know the truth, Fury is the most amazing scent. But you can even get it unscented, which means if your man has a favorite cologne, you can use the pheromone concoction underneath and be able to enhance pretty much anything. So you can go online, apexpheromone.com, read the description, learn about how the chemicals work and how what they do is they enhance what a man already has and just brings it forward. It's really cool. So read all about that, apexpheromone.com. So we want to thank them for our sponsors. Now, diving on in. So let's talk about spiritual and energy work. We were just talking about physical, but when it comes to who we are as people, we are created, we're energy, we're embodied energy. And it's so important that as we're moving through life, we're trying to figure out what we believe, how we believe. You know, there's different religions, there's different spirituality. This is not a this is not a religious show. So I will never ever tell you either way what you should believe. Just encourage you to grow in what you do believe. And it's so important because when you have something bigger than yourself to live for, you're able to put more of yourself into. Sometimes people need an external factor to drive them. And so whether you believe in a God, whether you believe in a cause, whether you just believe in a value like family, when you believe in something just a little bit bigger than just yourself, you are able to put effort into that. You're able to get yourself out of your head and you're able to turn that into good for other people. And that in turn makes you feel good. So when we tap into our divine energy, when we tap into our spiritual energy, what we are essentially doing is connecting to the part of ourselves that is bigger. And one of the things that I've realized that I've been over the last few months, we've had a lot of really major shifts and changes. Some things going really well, some things are not going at all. And one of the things that I have found is that I turn to my dad. And for those of you who my dad passed away back in 2011. He was devout Roman Catholic and very spiritual man and lived what he believed. And there is not a day goes by that I don't think of him in some capacity. A lot of what I'm doing, a lot of the message I have is based off of what I learned from him. So it is my ability to continue on his message. So what I have been doing recently is I've been seeing signs and I've been connecting with him on a level that I probably would never have connected to him if he were still here in the present. Don't get me wrong. I've always had a very good relationship with my dad, despite, my crazy teenage years. There was a lot of change and a lot of growth, but with him, there was always an understanding of this is who I am, and I'm not always going to be what you expect me to be. And that type of compassion is something that is almost otherworldly. It comes from a of love and understanding. And a lot of times when you are struggling with yourself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, you are struggling with the fact that you are not feeling understood. When you find something to put yourself into, when you find someone or a topic or a spiritual energy to connect to, you're tapping into that feeling of being understood and accepted and loved for just exactly who you are. And when you are moving throughout your day, it is so important for you to be able to find one thing that is bigger than yourself, whether it's feeding the homeless, whether it is speaking to someone in your life who has more of a spiritual energy, or just even researching, doing something, Bible study, meditating, all that kind of stuff towards working towards your higher purpose, working towards your higher spiritual self. So my tip for you for today is to make sure that you're doing one thing every single day to help you work on your spiritual connection. For example, for me in the mornings, I love to meditate for a few minutes, but I also do what I call a divine energy reading, and I have tarot cards to walk me through a different perspective of how I can view the day or what I can expect from the day. And for me, that is my ability to connect to the divine. For you, you might sit down and read the Bible. You might go to church. You might go to Bible study. Whatever is your means of connecting to your divine power, highly encourage it. It is so important for you to be able to tap into that. Okay. Now, something that I have always noticed is that my mindset is always reflected in my environment. When my home is out of control, crazy, messy, there's dishes in the sink, there's laundry to be done, there's paper all over the place, it is a direct reflection of what is happening in my head. And I would love if this is you guys too, because if I know oftentimes this is a sign of procrastination, attention deficit. There is a lot of, when there's clutter, there's chaos. And one of the things that one of my favorite authors has said is for you to be able to become more grounded, to become more capable, the first thing you need to do is master your environment. Chase Hughes, The Ellipsis Manual. I highly recommend this book if you are interested in authority, if you are interested in reading people, if you are interested in understanding the ins and outs of the biological influence on your emotions. It's actually really cool. But for you to be able to control your emotions, for you to be able to feel more confident, for you to step into a role of authority, first master your environment. And what that looks like for people like myself is just doing a small task every day. I have one chore each day that I focus on. So one day during the week, it's the floors. One day during the week, it's laundry. One day during the week, it's the kitchen, and being able to chunk it down into just one daily task keeps it from being overwhelming. Now, sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but there are times where once you get the momentum, you keep heading on a roll. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, but should do one thing, start with something small. I like to start off by cleaning the bathroom, because at that point, you've managed to do something, but you can also continue to move forward onto a bigger, more extravagant project, or you can stop where you're at with just having cleaned the bathroom and still feel like you really accomplished something. So for being able to be in control of your environment, pick one small task that you're going to do, whether it is organize a junk drawer or just get rid of all the trash. Pick one small task that you can accomplish every single day. It would be a really good one. I like this one. I'm probably going to do later on the TikTok is we're going to clean out the fridge. There's some things in the fridge that could probably be used. So if you're watching on TikTok, YouTube, let me know if you guys end up doing that. Let me know if you don't clean out your fridge or something else that you do in place, but something small that you can feel confident and happy that you stepped up and took charge of. So everything that we're talking about today, this is all stuff that we do in our booth. And a lot of times, I know you guys know this stuff. Like there is so much information in here that it's like, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, I've heard that before. The problem is that we're not doing it, right? Or you start off like the beginning of the year, you start off really, really well, and you just entirely fall off the wagon on it. Accountability and actually accomplishing the things that you set your mind to are two different things. And what we've noticed is that is a sign of attention deficit or neurospicy. I like that term, neurospicy. It's for people who are neurospicy and being pulled off in 15 different directions. How many of that are, how many tabs do you have open in your brain? I've got 50 open just on my computer alone, and I have 70,000 different thoughts that are cycling through my head just even at this very moment. So for someone who is as neurodivergent and likely to run off the path at any given point, it's very important to have a system of accountability, but a way of keeping track of everything that you actually are accomplishing, especially when it feels like you're not. So I was able to develop a system that I've used. It's helped me write books. It's helped me maintain a home. It's helped me run a business and multiple business ventures. It's helped me work with clients. Like there's so many different things that I've been able to accomplish because I have built a system that works for me. And I love sharing that with you guys in the boot camp. So I would love to have you all sign up for the boot camp. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of stuff you get Goose. So as we move forward in this, we talked about having something bigger to believe in. We've talked about mastering your home environment and how just one small task a day is enough to get you on track. It is. It's enough to get you on track. One small thing every day. So one of the things that I've found especially helps my entrepreneurs is designating tasks that they don't enjoy. For that, I have a sponsor that I would love to connect you to. Her name is Kim, and she runs A+ Assistance. And she and her team specialize in taking all the administrative stuff off your hands for business owners for people who are careers, and they take website design, they do SEO optimization, they do package deals, they do scheduling, they do anything that you could ever possibly need for administrative duties, so you don't have to. Yeah, ever wish that you can duplicate yourself? This is your way to do just that. Let Kim and her team, A+ assistants, take over the administrative stuff from your life to free you up for the things that you are passionate about doing. Helping others, spending time with your family. Let them take that pressure off of you and give the best gift to yourself. More free time. All right. Now, when it comes to self-care and it comes to relationships, this is a tricky one, because I know I myself have issues with boundaries. I always want to make sure that I am being helpful, doing what's best for others. But at the same time, have you ever found yourself agreeing to things and then thinking later on, like, I don't know if I want to do this? If that's you, that's a boundary issue. And what happens is you are looking to make people happy. You're looking to be helpful, and you are not clear on what they need from you works into what you need from yourself. And this whole segment of this podcast is going to me as well as anyone who's listening, because we as people, especially people pleasers, we come from a standpoint where we don't want to disappoint. But something that I have decided recently, or, mentally cringing, I say yes to a lot of things and then freak out when all the things have to happen. And if that's you, I would love to have you acknowledge that down in the comments. Make sure that you guys are liking us, loving us, sharing us. If you guys are here and you're watching, make sure you say hello. But if that is you, if you are someone who jumps in and says yes and then kind of rethinks things later on, I'm going to share with you a tip that I've found very helpful. It's something that I don't know if anyone else has come up with it. I'm sure that they have, because I can't imagine that I'm the only one who has thought of this. If you know you're a people pleaser, if you know that you are more likely to blurt yes and then regret it and just be like, oh, I don't think I want to do this. Make sure that if someone's asking you to do something, you say, that sounds like a good idea. Can I get back to you on that? And then set a time frame. Can I get back to you on that tomorrow? And what that does is allows you to sit down and process through without setting up that solid expectation of you actually having to do the thing. When time to think about it and really sit and think about how it aligns with you and with what you're expecting of your own future and what needs to get done for yourself, are able to take a little bit to assess it and figure out how it works. So what that looks like is that you get a phone call and someone says, hey, I want to set up a podcast interview. We'll just use that as an example. I want to set up a podcast interview. How about tomorrow? Okay, that's great. Well, then you just said yes. And you have an appointment that you forgot about. Now you have to call, reschedule, and because your appointment is very important, right? So now you have to go back. If you had done the method of, you know what, that sounds good, let me get back to you on that tomorrow, you would have been able to figure it out. You would have already had a way to brainstorm around it, instead of diving in and feeling embarrassed that you weren't able to follow through on the thing that you said yes to. So that is a quick tip. Now, how does that work with relationships? When you are able to say, you know what, I don't think that's going to work, or if you say, yes, I do think that's going to work, what you're doing is you're creating a boundary. When you create a boundary, it makes it easier for people to understand where they lie within or without your boundaries. If you go into a dating relationship and you're just willing to throw yourself in, which I've been guilty of, you throw yourself in, oh, yes, that'll be fine. Instead of saying, no, I'm sorry, every Thursday I have an outstanding meeting with so and so, or I ask. When you are willing to rearrange your schedule based on someone else's not so immediate needs, what you're doing is showing that person that their goals are more important than your own, which makes you come across as wishy-washy. And it took me a long time to figure that out. And it's something that I still struggle with, but I've gotten a little bit better as far as knowing what I want, what I expect, and how to move forward. So when you set boundaries, when you get comfortable saying yes or no, depending on what you need, you are setting up the guidelines to show people how to love you. And it's up to them to decide whether or not that fits with them. So building boundaries is something that a lot of us struggle with, especially when we come from a point of we want to make someone happy. We want to make someone feel the way we want to feel. How many of us have been guilty of that? I know it's not just me. It's not just me. But you get to a point where when you give and you give and you give so much of yourself, you're driving yourself to the point of exhaustion. You're taking your limits and pushing them, but you're not standing up what you yourself need. When you're not taking care of yourself, you find yourself in situations that life will find a way to force you to slow down and take a look at yourself. It will force you to slow down and acknowledge, hey, I need a different way of doing things. It can do that in the form of a family crisis. It can do that in the form of a personal health crisis. Life is going to find a way to show you that you need to go down and you have to take care of yourself. And it doesn't look like going to the spa and get nails done all the time. It feels like doing something that is important to you. It looks like building on a healthy relationship. It looks like understanding who you are as a person and then going into a relationship. And a lot of the women that I see, a lot of the women that I've interacted with have gotten into this habit of bouncing from relationship to relationship and not working on themselves. They want a loving relationship so badly that they are willing to bounce from person to person to person looking for that. And what is actually happening is that you are putting off loving yourself enough to show someone else how to love you. What do you say to that, Goose? Nothing. We're snoring. We're snoring over here. Are you snoring? So when it comes to yourself, it means taking the time to set boundaries. Be clear on what you want out of your life. Be clear on what you need out of your life. And understand that when you tell someone no, be clear on why. Like, you know what? That sounded really good in my head. I'm glad that I double checked. Thank you for letting me get back to you. That's not going to work. Let's figure something else out. Honor your energy, honor your strengths, honor your weaknesses. If you know that you suck at showing up for appointments, don't set up appointments. Figure out a way to do things a little more impulsively, or have a superset, you have to show up at this point in time. Find ways to work to your strengths. that works in relationships, that works in your all other areas of your life. What I love to talk to people about is trying to find a way to create balance in your life. And if you guys know anything about me, there's no such thing as balance. I personally go all in, and I have to find a way to create a routine that helps keep me on track. And accountability and routines are some of the hardest things that we as neurospicy people have to deal with. So what I've done is I've created an accountability group that will allow us to create a community of people who are going to hold each other accountable, support and encourage, and hold space while giving each other guidance and structure. So I would love to have you guys come on in and join the free accountability group. And from there, we've got all kinds of really cool programs. There's going to be worksheets. There's all kinds of meetings and all kinds of stuff. So we're working to build a community to hold each other accountable. And I'd love to have you guys as part of it, because when you are a mentor, it's because you understand where we're coming from. You have a solution might work for people, but you also have the ability to understand because you've been in their shoes. You know exactly what it's like, and you yourself even might struggle with some of the stuff. So I remember reading one time where, to be a coach, to be a mentor, you have to have your stuff together. And to an extent, that's true. To an extent. At the same time, if you take a look at the martial arts way of teaching, you don't have to be an expert to teach a white belt. You can have just learned a new set of skills to be able to teach someone who's just coming in. You don't have to be a black belt to teach someone. You don't have to be an expert and have sparring lessons under your belt to show someone the right way of doing something or a different way of doing something. You have the ability as a person in the here and now to be able to show someone what works that they might not have considered before. And when you are taking time to show what you learn to other people, you are giving back some magic to other people and filling other people's cups from cup of overfilling. When you are taking care of yourself, you are allowing yourself to fill. When you fill, you overspill and you fill other people's cups instead of trying to fill from your own empty cup. I wish I had a better visual. I'm sorry, guys. But relationships are so important, but the most important relationship you can ever have is going to be the relationship that you have with yourself. When you are capable of standing firm in your boundaries, knowing what you want, knowing what you don't want out of life, that is how you build those boundaries. If that's something that you feel you need a little bit of help with, reach out to me and we'll set something up, because I'd love to help you work through any boundary issues that you're having. Again, as a mentor, I've been there and I understand that. And that's something that, have you ever heard the saying of, we always give the best advice, but we never listen to it ourselves. So we're in a weird dynamic because you know what other people are going to say about your situation. You know what other people are going to tell you, but yet you're not going to act on what they're going to tell you because it's what you would tell yourself. However, when you build a community that understands your boundaries, understands your goals, understands your mindset, that's where magic happens. So I would love to have you guys join the accountability program or the accountability group. Just go to christinede.com and you'll get the link to register and all that stuff. So we would love to have you guys in the group community. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. It'll be a party. We'll make it a party. So next up on our list, fun and activities. So when I think I don't know about you, but there are plenty of days where I've gotten lost in funny cats, chickens, ducks, you name it. I'm playing around with all the animals. And there's something so much fun and refreshing about them. But let me tell you a little bit about our sponsor, Allie from Grateful Acres. So she is out of Delaware, Dover, Delaware, Wilmington. She is up in I think it's Dover. I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me. I'm so sorry about that. But Allie at Grateful Acres is a magic person. She is just so warm and loving. She's got an entire farm of chickens and ducks and goats and horses. And what she does is she has this nonprofit organization that allows for help. She works with high school kids. She works with people with autism and other mental abilities. I love that term, abilities. And it's so amazing to hear the stories that she has about who were not being accepted in school, who come to the farm and like are excited to come to the farm because they get to help with the animals. She shows them how to feed and how to care for them. She has a coffee with Miss Cooley, which is her horse. And she's such a beautiful soul who is inspiring so many others. And we've been so blessed to connect with her and her farm and have them as our sponsors. So Allie and Grateful Acres, you guys can go to gratefulacrede.org and check that out. She's doing some amazing work and just taking care of these beautiful animals in the name of her parents. She lost her parents back during COVID, and it's the healing power of animals is so under-disclosed, under-discussed, and we're so excited to be able to chat with you guys about this. So fun and activities. Playing with animals. The importance of living with passion is so clear. If you've ever watched an animal, which, I mean, if you guys are sitting here watching Goose, you guys see Goose and he is hanging out. Goose watching the tablet. Yep, thank you. Yep, sorry guys. Checking up on the TikTok. So Goose is watching himself on video. We've got him broadcasting. So I have him showing his sleepy little face. This is around the time where Goose likes to just sit and relax and chill. So he is, and he's just relaxing. But when he is just out of the shower and he's cleaning himself and he's running around going, oh, this guy loves grapes, he loves blueberries, he loves wormies. Like they have these dried mealworms that he goes absolutely fantastic. Peas. Ducks love peas. And it's so much fun to be able to see what they're passionate about. They love food. They love swimming. Oh my God, the zoomies that happen when they swim. And it's so much fun to watch them because what happens is they are living in the moment. They are living in the here and now. They don't have a care or concern in the world, and they are enjoying life in the moment. And it's beautiful because what is happening is that they are tapping into, as we talked about earlier, their divine energy, their divine source energy. They are so pure of spirit that they are here and now. And that is one of the reasons why we have such a deep connection to them, is because allowing us to feel that pureness of energy. And what I have discovered and what I have found is I don't do anything that's not fun. That sounds horrible and that sounds selfish and that sounds ridiculous, but if it's not fun, I don't do it because life is too short. Goose is obviously having a good enough time sitting and relaxing and chilling. I know. Let's see if we can get that tablet turned a little bit. Hi, Bubba. Let's get that turned a little bit. Stretching. There we are. But, animals are so much fun and they're so pure and they're so beautiful to be around. As Goose looks like a big massive potato right now, but that's right. Hi, Gooses. What are you doing, Bubba? You want to come over here and say hi? No. Okay. This is why he gets his own little corner. What are you doing? But fun and activity for us to find something every single day that fills us with fun, fills us with passion, and fills us with joy and passion. So when it comes to finding your passion, what is something that you get really excited about? What is something that you really truly enjoy that you lose time in? That is where that's where that lies. That's how you can uncover what your superpower is. What is something you really truly enjoy? What is something you actually lose time when you do it? Whether it's crafting, whether it's coloring, whether it's going for a walk or going for a bike ride. I love to go for drives. There's so many things that you do that you can actually enjoy. And if you don't have anything that you really truly enjoy, what is something you've always wanted to learn? I suggest looking it up and researching that and just investigating. Just see if you can find a YouTube video and something you think would be fun to learn. So one of the things that I used to do that I haven't had a lot of time for recently was crafting. I love making jewelry. I learned how to knit. I learned how to crochet. And it was something that I found I enjoyed. I was able to sit and relax. I actually did a handful of it while I was undergoing chemo. That was something that was fun. And being able to create something out of nothing it almost felt like a superpower. Does that make sense? What is something that you find fun and intriguing that can be your superpower? Now, one of the things that I do love to talk to my clients about is being able to manifest. And it's really funny because lately my ability to manifest has been challenged. For those of you who don't know, I am the queen of manifesting. I've manifested some really incredible experiences. I've even written a book called Courting the Universe that goes into manifesting and the secret powers and how to tap into your source energy to manifest the life that you want. Now, we all have different desires. We have different ways of doing things, and it's easy to get caught up in manifesting negative stuff as well as positive stuff. Some of us are better at manifesting money than others. Some of us are better at manifesting opportunities. Yeah. And I want you, what are you doing, Goose? What are you doing, bud? Don't leave that alone. Hold on one sec, guys. Sorry. Technical difficulties. What are you doing, Gooses? He ended up dropping down the tablet. Let's get this set back up. There we are. Can you say hi? Where are you going? What are you doing? Yeah. Hey, sorry guys. I'm over here on TikTok just taking a quick peek. Hello. So Goose is doing double duty over here. We've got a camera and a tablet and we've got radio. We're all over the place right now. So the animals are so much fun. Being able to manifest, this is a cool thing. This is something that I found very exciting, is our ability to manifest. If you think about animals, okay, let's try to get you guys. Goose, don't eat that. Animals have this way of manifesting what they need, right? Being able to find, have you ever noticed that, squirrels hoard nuts? But more often than not, most animals don't hoard food, they don't store food. They trust that they're going to find it. They don't sit there and buy houses. They build their nests. They're able to find the things that they need to create their home environment. Goose, please don't eat that. So when it comes to as people, we worry about things that provide us. But the trick of it is that the universe is always providing for us. And the universe is always coming through in ways that we would never expect. And one of my favorite meditations, come on, buddy. You can't eat that. One of my favorite meditations is from Abraham Hicks, and it's a rampage of appreciation. And it's all about how no matter what situation we are currently experiencing, if we can change our mindset just to feel a little bit better and learn how to trust the universe is taking care of us, that opportunities are going to show up that we would never expect, and things manifest in ways that we wouldn't normally open ourselves up to. And it's so much fun to be able to see how people manifest differently. So whether it's a new opportunity in your career, or money that's coming in that you never expected, or it's money that you feel like you're lacking. There's been so many times in my life that I have panicked over money, and to have it work out in a way that I never would have expected. And because what it does, it opens up your mindset to figure something out. Whether you're figuring it out or you're allowing the universe to figure it out, you are opening yourself up to opportunities for something to manifest. Now, One of the tricks that I've learned as a manifester, as someone who has been learning metaphysics and tapping into intuition, is learning to trust your gut instinct when it comes to manifesting. Things are always going to work out the way that they're supposed to. Doesn't mean we have to like it. Doesn't mean we have to agree with it. Doesn't mean that some things, doesn't mean we're going to understand everything that happens. But when we come from a mindset of this and more, this is what I need and this is what I have. What I have is perfect. I love this and I would love more. I would love more of this. And when we open ourselves up to manifesting, when we open ourselves up to trusting the universe and trusting our source energy, God, whatever you believe spiritually, when you are able to trust in that alignment and trust that you are following your passion, then magical things happen. When you are doing something you love, you feel good. I always use the term, I don't go to work, I go to play. And that seems like such a weird dynamic, but whatever I'm doing, I'm going to play. So whether it's driving part-time for Amazon, because I love driving so much that I'm willing to go and drive and deliver packages for Amazon. It's fun. I get to see people and I get to meet people and I get to experience the highs and lows of humanity and wellness and being able to see multi-million-dollar homes and then these rundown homes that it's almost heartbreaking to see people live in. You're able to see the duality of it. The people who are the people who aren't. The people who are well off are oftentimes even happier than the people who are well off. It's interesting to see that. But it's so important that when you are manifesting, when you are creating the life you want, that you are filling it with fun. If you do not enjoy your job, then it's important you find something, either a different way of thinking about it where you can make it fun, or instead of viewing it as a sacrifice, view it as an opportunity to grow. All in the way that you frame it in your mindset. When you align your passion in your career, it becomes fun. And I don't know about you, but I enjoy having fun and loving what I do. I love helping people. I love the message of being able to inspire people. I love being able to go and drive, create. So when it comes down to what you are passionate about, are you passionate about helping others? Are you passionate about guiding teenagers into understanding themselves? Are you passionate about teaching others as a teacher? What are you passionate about? And when you can put that into what it is you do for a living, it's so much fun to be able to see how you embody that. So what is something that you personally are really good at? What is something that you really, truly enjoy, something you lose yourself in doing? I've been seeing a whole bunch of people raising animals and selling baby animals or selling food for meat, selling arts and crafts. So what is something that you do and you do well and that you really, truly enjoy? I would love for you to share that down below. Have you managed to align your passion and career? Or are you looking for other opportunities? I'd be curious to know. So there was one time where I managed to manifest. There's been multiple times, but this one is the one that sticks out the most. This is one of the ones that I use in my book. I had just undergone chemo, and I had just finished my chemo treatment, so I had no hair, no nothing. Still kind of fresh out of surgery. I had full total right mastectomy back in February. It was November of 2018. And so February of 2019, I decided, okay, well, you know what? I need to go back to work. I need something right around the block. I need something that can be fun, and I need something that I'm going to be able to wear jeans whenever I want. Not even a week later, a perfect job came up that I applied for. I walked in. I was like, "Hi, interested. I'd love to work here. It seems like it would be fun." I have never been enrolled, introduced, involved in a hiring process that was so fast. I want to say between the background check and everything, within a week I was working. And it was one of my most favorite jobs ever because it allowed me to go in and have fun and be myself. I was being paid to be myself. And that was the most amazing. It was right around the block. I was able to wear jeans whenever I wanted, and I was able to have fun. It was a fun job. And it ended up where I was actually promoted to manager of the position for a while until it turned into a franchise. So until it went from corporate to franchise. So that was fun. It was one of the filling positions I ever had. And, that doesn't include my coaching. That doesn't include my writing, obviously. But when it comes to having a regular everyday job, that was probably the most fun job I've ever had. And, I always, when you can go to work and say, I'm going to play today, I'm not going to work, I'm going to play. There's so much power in that. And if you are not happy with where you are, if you are not finding that passion with what you're doing, I recommend let's take a look and evaluate and see if one, we can shift your mindset, and two, find a different opportunity for you. I'd love to help you with that. So we do go into more of this during our boot camp. That's the 6-week boot camp. It's Goose is going to be running the show. Are you going to be running the show, or are you going to be sleeping? He's probably going to be sleeping. But it's Goose's Self-Care Humans Boot Camp. It's a 6-week course that we go really in depth on all of these topics and incorporate them into a customized plan for you. And to be able to allow you not only the accountability to be able to stick to your goals, give you ideas, an action plan, and a solid foundation in building your self-care routine to fit into your lifestyle, fit into your mindset, and to fit into your everyday life. All right. So all of that, we are going to take a quick break and give a quick allowance to our sponsors. So we have wonderful sponsors. We've got Apex Pheromone, A+ Assistance, and Grateful Acres, Delaware. So we are so fortunate to be able to partner with all these amazing businesses. Now, we are looking for more sponsors. We are always happy to partner with you to promote your business, to promote your growth as a person and as a business. And we would love to have you guys as our sponsors so we can spread the message, spread the joy, and help inspire people all across the globe. So I know that we've got people who listen in Germany. I know we've got people who listen in Australia, all across the states who are listening to us. So especially if you have an online business, we would love to chat with you. So A+ Assistance, Apex Pheromones, and Grateful Acres, Delaware. We're very grateful for every single one of them, and all of you. If you're listening, make sure you're liking, loving, sharing. If you are watching us on YouTube, leave a comment. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you're commenting as well. Share it, like it, love it. And if you are hanging out with us on TikTok, say hello. We have the phone point away, so I can't really see anyone's comments. So I do apologize if you are asking questions. But we're here to share a message of love and positivity to everyone who can use a little bit of encouragement, right, Mr. Goose? We are thrilled to be able to show you how to live with passion and to enjoy everything it is that you're doing. I am going to pull this up here. So let me see if hopefully I don't mess up the audio. Oh, what happened with that? Oh, okay. Goose. What? He said, where are you? What are you doing? Sorry, guys. He's not so super. Okay. So we are trying to let's go ahead. We don't want to blind the no blinding the gooses. We can pull this up on TikTok as we are still live on Reel to Reel Broadcasting Network. We are here on YouTube, Facebook, all the places. So make sure you like us, love us, share us. Give us a message. Oh, that's try that. So, all right. So, you are just joining who are new here, who haven't been listening yet. Have been about an hour, and we've been enjoying every moment of it with you. Now, if you've been watching on TikTok and YouTube, you've been
2023.
Stop.
I am turning 20.
My gosh. Okay. Yeah. So we're live, we're hanging out, we're watching Goose just sit and do his thing, being a little fluff butt. Goose, for those of you who are new and just watching, Goose is a 3-year-old making duck. He is a special needs critter, so he does hang out inside with us. He is a straight up poop machine, so we always make sure we have pads. And when he's not in the house, we have a patio outside that he stays on, so that way he's not roaming the house. So he is a self-help mentor. He has been one of the main reasons why I enjoy doing mentorship and coaching. He's given me a really great way of looking at things. So what we do is we teach mental health mentorship for humans, and we show you how to love yourself a little bit better. And we do that from the perspective of a duck. And it's amazing the things that ducks can teach us about ourselves. And I love being able to go into that. What happened here? So, oh no, what happened there? But so now, one of the things that we do want to talk about before we wrap it up for the night is getting on track with your diet and health. If you have been struggling, if you started off the year strong and then just have fallen off the entire bandwagon and like ditched the whole party, then we want you to come in with us. We have started an accountability program. It's a community where we're gathering people to start holding ourselves accountable for our health and fitness goals, our home environment goals, anything that you need help with. This is going to be the community for you. It is a free community. We do offer programs to the people within the community, but this is to help encourage people to set their goals, find accountability partners, and be able to start building up the life of your dreams. And so if you go to christinede.com, or if you go to the link in the bio, all you have to do is click the link and the little pop-up will collect your email and we'll send you the link to the Facebook groups. You can join the free accountability program. That is something that I put together recently, so it's fairly new. I haven't really been talking about it too much as we've got some things moving and shifting and grooving over here. So we got a lot happening. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, and once we figure a few things out, I'll share some more with you. But we're growing. We're in the middle of writing The Introvert's Guide to Living with Passion. Goose is being my co-writer on that, so that'll be a book that we're working on. We're going to try to come out with it in February, but it had to get put on the back burner. But we're working on it a little bit every day to get us to where we want to be with that. So we'll keep you guys updated on when that book should be available for pre-order. Introvert's Guide to Living with Passion. Then we have our boot camp that is kicking off for live recordings on February the 4th. So right now, because it is going to be an evergreen course, I'm inviting you guys to come in and film with me live for the event. What we're going to be doing is everyone who comes in for the recordings, pricing, and you guys get to be there live. You get to interact with us, ask us questions, and help us help you when it comes to self-care for humans. So that is an ongoing course right now that kicks off on February 4th. So make sure you guys go on christinede.com, join the free accountability group, and then check out the link for the 6-week boot camp with Goose. There's going to be a whole lot of information on there for you. So I think you guys are going to enjoy it. We talk about faith in the flock leader. We talk about keeping the coop. There's all kinds of things that we talk about from the perspective of a duck and how it applies to your mental health and well-being. So it's pretty exciting. And we've been working hard on that. So we're excited about that. We think you guys are going to get a kick out of it. So Goose's Self-Care Boot Camp, special pricing on February the 4th. And once we record all that, it will be an evergreen and the price is going to go up. So if you guys want to be part of that now and get that special pricing, I highly recommend it. Now, again, if you guys are looking to stay on track, even when it's hard, join the accountability group. Again, christinede.com, fill in that pop-up and get the link to the group. What we're going to start doing in the accountability group is Monday mornings, we're going to start doing weigh-ins. We'll film it. I'll do myself and we'll get Goose on the scale. Last week he was 10.6 pounds and I think I was 197, 198. And so we're going to see how we did this last week and see if either of us have lost, or I invite you guys to come in and do the same. We'll run a quick little blurb on what goals you can set, or things, that you want to focus on. And we'll start working on trying to find accountability buddies. And, so the more people you invite into the group as well will be awesome. So make sure that if you guys want to be part of the accountability Facebook group, just sign up on the website. So we're going to be doing weigh-ins, and then we're going to do this week's challenge. What is this week's challenge? So this week, earlier in the podcast, I put it out there that we're going to be cleaning out the fridge. I'm going to challenge guys to do the same. I want pictures of your before and after pictures of your refrigerators for this week, and I want them all by Friday. So you guys have until Friday to do it. We'll be able to motivate and encourage you, and celebrate you for taking action on just even something small. Go big, go small, whatever you want to do. We're going to be here to support you in the accountability group. Cleaning out the fridge is a good way to start. It gives you a really good idea of what you have in the fridge, and especially if you want to eat a little bit better, what things you can get rid of and make room for the good and healthy stuff. Okay. So speaking of good and healthy stuff, we want to thank Grateful Acres for this segment. And we want to thank Allie and her beautiful heart, doing everything she can to help people and animals, and how fortunate we are to have her in our circle. We are super fortunate for other sponsors, A+ Assistance and Apex Pheromones. So we want to send them a special thank you. If you guys heard of any of the sponsors and want to check out their information, if you go to christinede.com, at the top of the page, you can go to the link that says sponsor information, and you'll find the links to all of our sponsors below. You can check out their websites and learn more about them. We definitely are proud to have these as our sponsors. All right. So today's wrap up. I want to thank Reel to Reel Broadcasting for giving us this opportunity to be able to get our message out there, to spend time on sharing the message of how important self-care is to everyone. We want to make sure that we are encouraging and uplifting people to with the passion to really truly enjoy life. And it's starting here. So if you guys are here, you're listening on the broadcasting network, we're so excited that you are here to watch us as we are kicking off and developing and growing and being able to figure it out as we go along. So as we wrap up for today too, I want to leave us with an intention for the upcoming week. And that is going to be understanding. Our intention for the week is understanding and passion and connection and feminine energy, and being able to embody all that represents understanding. So as you go throughout this week, look for opportunities to be understanding. Look for opportunities where understanding and connection is important and can actually potentially change the outcome of whatever interaction you're having. All right. So card of the week is going to be the Queen of Wands, which is fire and passion and connection and understanding. Okay. Special invitation to our boot camp. Make sure if you guys want to know more about the boot camp, just reach out to me directly and I'll answer any questions that you have. We do have special pricing for right now as we are kicking it off. However, don't let that stand in the way. If there's any special needs that you have as far as accommodating, we'll be happy to talk and see if there's some way for sponsorship in that. Okay. I want you guys to do me one big favor. If you enjoyed today's podcast, I would love for you to share it, like it, love it, share it all over the world. Share it with people who you know need to hear this message. And I want you to take one thing with you today. I want you to know that you are loved, that you are cherished, that you are valuable, and that you are so supported. We are here to encourage you. We are here to grow with you. And we are here to show you how important your mental health is to your self-care and how important your self-care is to your mental health. I invite you to go and live every single day from here on out with the utmost of passion. And if you have any questions or you need any assistance with any of that, please reach out to us and let us know. We are here to help. We love you so much. Thank you all for listening, and go and live today with the utmost of passion. And we will see you next week for your weekly dose of love and caffeination. Thanks for watching.